The views, opinions, comments, and statements shared here on the Trailer Park Podcast are those of the hosts, guests, listeners, and callers of the Trailer Park Podcast. And in no way, shape, form, or fashion are they a reflection of iHeartRadio, Spotify, Podcast Addict, Deezer, or any other podcast platforms you may be listening on right now. The stories shared here on the Trailer Park Podcast are firmly based on fiction and loosely based on facts. So pretty much we're full of crap. Most everything shared here on the Trailer Park Podcast are of a satirical nature and should not be taken seriously. The Trailer Park Podcast is intended for mature audience. Listener discretion is advised. Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Trailer Park. I am your host, Lampy. Today's Episode 4 of 2022 is brought to you by Shop Vinyl Design. Go to Shop Vinyl Design, www.shopvinyldesign.com. Hello, everybody, and how is everybody doing today? I'm waiting for an answer. It has been an eventful week this week. Last Sunday I recorded and decided that the audio was terrible, the content was terrible, and I just deleted the entire episode, just got rid of it, and really haven't had time to fool with it until today. Last week I drank my last drink on a Saturday evening because this hurricane Ira that was about to attack the state of Florida was coming in with a vengeance at a Category 4, and I wanted to have my wits about me the entire time because my family, kids, all four of my children, my sister, brother-in-law, nieces and nephews, brother Glenn, they all live in a state to maybe assist, pick somebody up, or just do whatever. I needed to be completely sober about that, mainly because you don't want to be driving under the influence. Plus, my truck will not crank if there's like even a hint of alcohol. If I take an alcohol wipe and wipe the mouthpiece off, then blowing it, it will show up positive and my truck will not crank. So I wanted to be ready for anything that may have came up. So after the hurricane passed, I drank a couple beers yesterday, but we're good. I'm glad everything turned out to where, I mean, there was a few casualties, one's too many, but not as bad as what it could have been, I suppose. So anyway, it came through, did its damage, and all my family's still alive, and I guess that's what counts. Growing up in Central Florida, hurricanes were just a every year thing. You know, we never really give it much thought. We'd sit through hurricanes, sit through tropical storms. I remember going down there, and there'd be people outside of their homes with shotguns, rifles, and assault rifles and stuff like that, protecting what was left of their possessions. Looting was happening like crazy. I remember Publix, for those of people that live here in Tennessee that's listening right now, Publix is similar to a Kroger, or it's just a supermarket. Publix was one of the first stores to reopen, and it had armed security standing out front because people were literally getting robbed of their groceries at gunpoint. So they had armed security walking people to their vehicles, making sure they got there safely and got out of there safely because it was that bad. It was like, it looked like in the movies, like a World War II movie where the cities were just dilapidated from warfare. That's what South Florida looked like at the time, and it was just terrible. But yeah, now we just have to take it a little more seriously. But I remember as a kid, it would storm or we'd get heavy rains and hurricanes. We took advantage of it. We had friends with pickup trucks, and we had pickup trucks, surfboards, wakeboards, water skis, because when we were young, my dad taught us how to water ski, and yeah, that's right, I know how to water ski. Amateur water skier, extreme novice wakeboarder, extreme novice kneeboarder, and cannot surf worth a shit. Even though I'm from Florida, cannot surf at all, but I can water ski. And I always found it kind of fun to somebody show up with a boat, and they'd be water skiing and whatnot, and I say, hey, do you mind if I try? And then they try to explain to me how to do it and everything, and I just go along with them. Then I get behind the boat, and I come up out of the water on the skis, looking clumsy and awkward, then just start shredding back and forth. And they're like, whoa, dude, you tricked us, man. But yeah, we learned how to water ski and stuff like that. And but the yard would be flooded. I remember this specifically. Our yard would be flooded with water. My dad and mom, they had a little bit of property. Not a whole bunch, but enough to where when it got flooded, we'd get the truck out there, throw the the surfboard behind it is my homeboy Jerome's truck. It's an old 1979 Ford F-150 short wheelbase, 4-wheel drive, and he would pull us around in the yard with a rope, with a ski rope, and a surfboard. And we just having fun, drinking beer. That's what we did. Then when it would all dry up, we start collecting the catfish that were meandered their way up through the rivers and lakes and stuff, and just end up in the yard. They called them walking catfish, but whatever. Then we'd clean the catfish and eat them. And sometimes we'd just play catfish baseball. And that's where you take the catfish, throw them up in there, and hit them with a baseball bat. That's what we did for fun. Couldn't get by with that shit nowadays. I'd probably get in trouble for even talking about it. Catfish baseball is always a good time. No, but going back to where I was talking about, we knew how to water ski and everything. We were raised on this little bitty pond. It don't even show up on the map anymore. I tried to Google map it the other day, and it don't even show up as a pond at all. But that's where we learned to water ski, and that's one of the things my dad taught us how to do. He'd always have some type of recreational shit for us to do, whether it be little motorcycles, airboats, some boat he found on the side of the road, bought it, paid $50 for it, rebuilt it, put a motor on the back of it, and that's where we learned how to water ski in some alligator-infested swamp. But that's one of the things I could take with me. But since I broke my back, I haven't been back on skis. I broke my back in 2 places. I imagine I could still get back up on skis. I just haven't tried. But yeah, a long time ago, I dove into the shallow end of a above ground swimming pool where every end is a shallow end. I did the old scorpion where the heels of your feet touch the back of your head. Folded myself in half, and that was an emergency or a trip to the emergency room. That was a good time. Not. I laid up for about 6 months and went back to work, but yeah, things happen. Yeah, I was never into like the organized sports, which we did play pickup games and stuff like that, but never really no football. We played pickup basketball games and never really messed with baseball. Basketball was the main thing that me and my brother did. But mostly we fucked around with extreme shit. Like skateboarding, water skiing, jumping off of shit. Just stupid shit that you can get really, really fucked up and hurt about. That's what we did. I remember one time my brother found us, we had a secondhand store, what they called the bent and dent store, where you go and buy your bent up cans and busted up boxes of food and stuff. And there was a hobby dude. He had other miscellaneous shit in the store too, and he come across this Valterra skateboard, old school concave shape, the big bodied board with the wide trucks and stuff, and it was the coolest thing. It was the coolest thing. But he rode around on it for a while, and I rode around on my Nash because couldn't afford anything really nice like a Power Peralta or Vision or anything like that. So he finally retired the skateboard and passed it down to me because he got something better. So I'm skating around. This is my level of skating. This is how well I skated. I would take my left foot, put it on the front of the skateboard, straddling the arch of my foot, straddling the trucks of the front truck. The truck is the axle, the front axle of the skateboard with the wheels and stuff. Then I would take my right foot and push off the ground and push myself forward. Then I would place my right foot on the back part of the board and go straight. That's how I skateboarded. I used to do a lot of downhill until I wore a lot of scabs. That time frame of my life, my elbows, knees, back of my head, chin, it was just scabbed over at all times. I ate it more than I rode it. You feel me? I'd be coming down the hill and I'd be taking corners real tight. Next thing you know, I just lose it. Elbows, knees, ass, just being skint. It wouldn't stop rolling either. Like, oh my God, gravel. Then you roll off the road into the gravel and just eat it some more and just like picking gravel out of your ass for days. That was the extent of my skateboarding. But guess what I did? I would get back up and get on that skateboard and wreck that son of a bitch again. I never got good at skateboarding. I never could ollie. I tried to ollie so much and I could not ollie. I'd be seeing everybody else ollieing. It's like, what the hell? What am I doing wrong? So I did the next best thing. I took my dad's drilled a hole through the center of the skateboard, run a lawnmower rope through it, tied a knot in the bottom of the lawnmower rope, so when I pulled it back through, the knot would grab on the bottom of the board, and it still had the handle from the lawnmower, from the pull start. So now I could ollie. I could ollie over every damn thing. Ollie over a car if I wanted to. All I had to do was just have a firm grip on that rope. Whenever I jumped, that board never left my damn feet. Until one day, I'm doing one of my downhill things, and I've been ollieing over everything. I'd find stuff, and I'd set it up in the road, and I'd ollie over it. I set up a garbage can laying on its side, I'd ollie over it. So I kept making the things longer. So I'd have a garbage can, a brick, a curtain rod, a broom handle. I'm ollieing over all of this shit. And finally, my last ollie of my career, this one ended my career right here, my skateboarding career. I'm hauling ass down Ninth Street in Mascot, Florida. Brand new pavement road. It used to be a gravel road, and then they put brand new pavement over the top of it. Asphalt. Smooth as eggs, son. I'm hauling ass down this hill. I don't know how fast I'm going, but I'm going faster than I've ever went before in my life. I've got a firm grip on this lawnmower rope. Garbage can's the first thing. Next, past, all right, this is the layout. Garbage can, curtain rod, broom handle, and the very last item was a cinder block. I ollied over the top of the garbage can, cleared the curtain rod, cleared the broom handle. My back truck hits the cinder block. I eat it. And I have a rope that I got a hold of now. So now, as I'm tumbling down the road, the rope's wrapped around my ankles, and the board's coming with it, beating me in the back of the head, slapping me across the face, and I come to a screeching, hide-riddling halt in the bushes. Couldn't catch my breath. I'm fucking dying here. That ended it. I never got on a skateboard ever again. Fuck this shit. It's not worth it. I think I almost bled out there on the side of the road in the ditch amongst the trees, and was like, fuck this life. I hate my life. Fuck Tony Hawk, because Tony Hawk was legendary then, still is, but he was my hero. Like, fuck him. He can go to hell. He can have this fucking shit. I'm fucking done with this goddamn skateboarding. Fuck this. Right about that same time, I had just pierced my left ear, I think. I think that's the ear you're supposed. Yeah, your left ear. Yeah, I think that's the ear. Back then was the non-homosexual ear. So I got my ear pierced, but I've got to keep my ear. I got to pull my earring out every day before my dad gets home, so he doesn't see it. Because then I'll be all kind of faggots. He'll be calling me all sorts of faggots and queers if he saw me with this earring. So, little did I know, my dad pierced his ear whenever he was young in the 70s. But he pierced the wrong ear. And he went out to the bar with it like that. And he was all sorts of faggots and queers as far as they were concerned. They roasted his ass. So he never put an earring back in. And it didn't matter what ear you pierced. He was a queer as far as he was concerned. So I'm pulling this earring out and putting it back in so much so that it gets infected. And my earlobe swells up like a friggin' balloon. It looks like one of them African people with the big earlobes. They're just dangling there full of pus. And I was like, holy shit, I can't. And my dad comes home. I'm trying to keep it hid, and he's always in my face about something because my dad gunned for me. It didn't matter. He was always looking for something that I've done because I was always up to something as far as he was concerned. But he finally was like, what the fuck's wrong with your ear? And I had to explain to him that I pierced my ear. And, of course, fucking faggot, you queer. What the hell are you piercing your ear for? Girls pierce their ears. It wasn't until later that I found out that he had pierced his ear. My uncle was telling me about it. And so I never boasted his ass because my dad would go upside my head if I ever tried to come back at him with some shit like that. And that was at 137 Ninth Street in Mascot, Florida. We spent a lot of years there at that residence. It was right on the lake. We had that nice smooth road for skateboarding and wrecking and whatnot. We had trees to climb out of and take a shit out of because I was always shitting out of trees. Don't ask me why. I like to climb trees, get up to the top, bring a roll of toilet paper with me, then poop out of the tree just to see what it would do. I don't know. I'm fucked up. That's what I did.